Well, good morning, folks, and welcome back to the farm. You know, I thought early this morning that we were done with the heat wave because it was down to like 20 degrees. We had a bit of a breeze. We still have a bit of a breeze, in fact. But the mercury's rising, and so I think, yeah, we're not done with the heat wave yet, but we are going to get a small bit of respite today because it's going to reach a daytime high of 29 degrees Celsius. Whereas over the past few days, we've been hitting 40, 45 degrees even. And believe it or not, this is wild. I never thought this would happen. But the siding on the west side of our house, actually, the vinyl siding, actually started to melt. So I don't know what the surface temperature of that was. Because it's not getting any, it's getting afternoon to evening sun. And yeah, that's wild. So we're going to have a contractor come by later today and this evening after he's done his, regular whatever he's building today. He's gonna come take a look at that, but I don't think there's any way that we can repair that. And my concern is because it's opened up now and lots of it's sagging, is that when we get our next big windstorm coming out of the west, that wind is going to get up underneath the vinyl slats that are now opened up and drooping and sagging, and just going to peel it open like a tin opener essentially. Anyways, yeah, so we're gonna go feed animals here this morning. Like I said, we're coming down from 45 to 29 degrees Celsius. Now, what does that mean for the animals? Does it mean we're gonna do anything different than what we've been doing during the rest of the heat wave? No, because even 29 degrees Celsius is extreme, right? 45 is exceptionally extreme, like it's just completely off the spectrum. But no, we're gonna keep everybody outside the chicken tractors. So we basically let everybody out of the chicken tractors. We put up poultry netting, and they can obviously come back into the tractors for shade and whatnot as needs be. But we want them to be able to move around, get wind, get breeze, find their own shady, cool spot, and have some sprinklers going where they could. Good morning, Mr. Rooster. Have some sprinklers going where they could cool off their feet and their underbelly and things like that, and get a drink right off the ground. So no big changes for us yet. We'll probably want to get down to at least 25 degrees Celsius before we drop the chicken tractors back down and start putting everybody in and start going back to moving them on to fresh grass every single day. Now they've got tons of room to move around, still graze, still eat bugs, do all that stuff.
Anyways, quick change of clothes and an equally quick change in priorities. You'll look over here and the holiday trailer is gone. We didn't sell it, no. Yesterday Carmen said, let's just pack it up and go to Rio Grande. So Rodeo's this weekend, so we're gonna head over there, put Charlotte in some mutton busting. That'll be fun. So we camped out there last night, and I just came home this morning to do chores. As you can tell, the chickens are looking for some breakfast. As they come by the oil field lease down there, I seen an old Chevy Impala, a silver Chevy Impala, which I've never seen a battery operator in the world drive a Chevy Impala. So I'm like, that's not right. Wheel in there, and a couple of folks looked like they hadn't eaten in a while, probably because they have other hobbies. And anyways, they buggered right off. They had no time for that, which thankfully, yeah, they can leave. I have no desire to have those kind of people on the property. But the chickens definitely have a desire right now to get some breakfast. So unless you want to be distracted by that noise, you better get them fed. I think it's safe to say the heat wave has ended. We were in the mid 40s. And now we've come down. I think today's daytime high is going to be 40, not 40. What am I talking about? 21. So it actually feels cold. It's surprising how quickly you do actually acclimate to something like that. But anyways, yeah, now we're going to have real summer, and it's going to feel freezing cold for us. So you might recall from, how long ago was it? 10 days, 2 weeks ago, something like that. We were lime washing the inside of our chicken house, and I wanted to scrape off the roosting bars so that, well, I wasn't going to lime wash them, but I just wanted it to be clean. And so what I was looking for was like a putty knife scraper head for a reciprocating saw, and I could not find one anywhere. So I ended up actually just using the recip saw blade and just going sideways across the top of the roosting bar. Still worked pretty effectively. I mean, but I'm sure it wasn't as quick and as clean as it possibly could have been. Anyways, yeah, yesterday I was in the Home Hardware in Beaver Lodge, and I told him, hey, I said, look, I've been looking for these all over the place and I can't find them. Would you carry anything like that? And he kind of gave me this smart ass remark, like, well, did you ask? And I'm like, well, yeah, I've asked everywhere I've been, but I haven't been here. Now, do you have something like that or not? And he was just pretty pleased with himself. And sure enough, he did have one. Well, it's not called a reciprocating saw putty knife type thing. It's called a spider, a 4-inch spider scraper. So that's our huckleberry right there. We're not going to try this out today because obviously the roosting bars are nice and clean. But next time they start to look like the toilet's getting clogged up, we're going to put this on that cordless recip saw and go to town. So I'm just leaving Farm Phillies Ranch Supply here southwest of Beaver Lodge. Just picked up 330-foot rolls of sheep wire, 4-foot tall sheep wire. We've got to do some fencing here over the next couple of weeks, and it was a long-term project in a sense that, you know, we knew eventually we were going to get enough sheep that we were going to have to expand and build more fence. What we weren't expecting was to have so few extra sheep and need that much more grass because the grass wouldn't recover. And so that's what's happening to us this year is, you know, July 1st, we've essentially run out of grass, and we've got other grass. Obviously there's more there, but there's just not other grassy areas that are fenced. And so we just put in $770 into fencing material, and we'll have to get that plugged in. And yeah, it's a big investment, but it's obviously going to last for a very long time. So, you know, we invest today to be, you know, that fence will be there for 20 years probably, or maybe even more. And yeah, and you can't get hay anywhere. There's such a hay shortage. You maybe get 2 or 3 year old hay, you know, 25 to 30 bucks a bale. You're ordering stuff for this year's hay. Sounds like guys are wanting maybe even up to $110 for a round bale. And that's, I mean, if we had to pay $110 for a round bale, we might as well just sell the sheep because there'd just be no money left in it. We just have them for the fun of having them at that point.
Let's see what happens. Yes, good catch. Start things off here for Ryan. That's a nice little calf here. Gets him on the ground. Kind of like tying up the neighbor's cat. 1, 2, and hands in the air. Wow, great run. Great run.
Come on, Cody Brett. This guy's reach down and get a hold of one. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Get a hold of him now. There we go. This deer's got some push or what? Whoa! Welcome back, now he says, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. Come on,
All right, so I'm back from the rodeo, and I left the camper there in Rio Grande. Charlotte's gonna have a sleepover at Granny's house. Carmen's working a night shift, and I'm home alone, unsupervised, with a 0-turn lawnmower. So we're gonna put some miles on that thing. So as you recall earlier today, I picked up some fencing from Farm Phillies Ranch Supplies, and the field has got to go in. The grass is 2.5 to 3 feet tall. Not that I'm in the mood for really cutting grass when I need grass to eat, but can't think of a better way to install a fence than having kind of a clean pallet to work from. So I just come back from town. I had to run back to town to get gas for the tractor, and I ran down to the neighbor's place and grabbed the post pounder too. We're gonna need that tomorrow. This is the fencing we're gonna use. So this is 4 feet tall, 330 feet long. The stuff we've typically used around here is 3 feet tall. And although it is pretty successful, it keeps them in for the most part, it does end right around there, right? So the sheep naturally just wants to come up to the fence, and as if they're inquisitive, they can push and bend the fence over. So we're hoping this 4-foot stuff, you know, is going to end right around here and just kind of rule out a lot of that inquisitiveness that puts pressure on the fence. But I could not believe how much heavier just 1 more foot makes that entire roll, because it went from, you know, being a really heavy 1-person lift for a spool like this to just not at all being a 1-person lift. This was a pretty difficult 2-person lift actually for each one of these. So
I'm hoping tomorrow to get at least 2 of these tight and tacked up. If we can do that, then I think we'd be in good shape. Now I'm just over here at the tack shed, actually checking on the fence post pile. We got lots of fence posts for tomorrow. We shouldn't need too many because the first half of the fence, every post is spaced out I think just about every 8 feet because there's buffalo wire attached to it. And the second half of the fence is, now it's barbed wire, and so they're spaced out every 16 feet. So we're gonna change it up entirely. We're gonna put them every 10 feet, the whole length. So I'll probably need maybe 6 posts total tomorrow, which is not any huge loss, but we'll just cherry pick through here to make sure we get some pretty good posts. And you know, ordinarily if it was around whatever, anywhere on farm, I wouldn't be too concerned because it borders a neighbor's place. And this particular fence line is, when I say it borders a neighbor's place, it's been one that's been a bone of contention for a while because the sheep get through it, the cows get through it, and every summer I get a half a dozen phone calls from the neighbors saying, hey, you know what, I got some critters on my lawn, you should really come deal with it. And good fences make good neighbors, and if we're gonna move a fence line, I want it to be done. When it's done, I want it to be done. I don't want to have to fart around it, fool around with it ever again. We'll just move it. It'll be done. It'll be solid, and then hopefully down the road, if somebody else ever comes and lives here, well, they won't have to fool around with it either. So when I'm talking about fooling around with it, what I'm really talking about is there was a legal subdivision that was taken off of this quarter section here, and when the original owners that did the subdivision actually surveyed everything out, do you think they could put the land, like the property line, where there was a fence? No, of course not. There's only one of 4 fence lines that actually follows, or sorry, one of 4 property lines that actually follows a fence line. And so as such, because we have to do a complete fence overhaul to be able to run sheep in this next little paddock, the neighbor has requested that we move the fence line to where it's supposed to be, and he's going to chip in some labor. And you know what, it's not convenient, it's not pleasing to me, but I see where he's coming from. We're basically been we've had his field for a long time, and so I think in total we owe him about 7 acres. So I can see where he's coming from, because he's only really got, what would it be, 17 acres in total there. And we've kind of restricted him down to 10, not by any fault of our own, of course, it's just the way things worked out. He bought it afterwards, we bought it afterwards, so we're just going to try and work together and make it right. Well, I just got the piggies their supper. Looks like the donkey came to say hi at the same time. And I know I'm going to have to get up super early if I'm going to get all that fence string tomorrow, so I better go fix up a cup of tea. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.